you are going to really need your coffee, because today we are going to be talking about students who just talk a lot and what the heck do you do to get these students to stop talking. So before we start, one thing just to make sure that we have an understanding here is when you have students who talk a lot, or just students in general, we are all human beings and they talk, right? Like no matter what, they're just going to kind of like overstep that role. And even with the regular substitute teacher, it's totally fine, but like our regular teacher, like think about it outside of school. If you're at a bridal shower, people are talking when someone's like, hey, like we are gonna open gifts now, and like no one's listening. Like it's something that we do as human beings. And I believe that with that exception, we are able to take their talking and just strengthen that, because they're very good at talking, let me tell you. Like for example, in the lesson plans, if they can work with another student or make groups, they're able to talk. Now, the one talking that you should really shut down for sure is if they're bullying others, they're gossiping, talking about inappropriate things that they are not supposed to be talking about. Shut that down immediately. But talking to their neighbor when they sit down is like fine for a second. Like, hey, how are you today? Or like, oh, I love your dress, like things like that. Who cares? But yeah, during a lesson and you're trying to teach, or you're trying to just explain what they're doing for the day, like that's where it gets really tricky. And it just feel like you're at a concert and just like, I understand. So first things first is you need to set your expectations clear on what you want them to be doing. So if you are really serious about, you don't want anyone talking in the classroom, write that down as one of your expectations. When you are talking, just say, the number one thing that I have in this classroom is you're going to do your work and it's going to be silent in here. When you are done with your work and everyone is done with their work, you may talk. And that way, like, they're able to understand that. Because I feel like if you go in there and you don't say to them that, like, no talking, like, they're going to talk, it's just, and nowadays I feel like there's something like missing where they just like don't care sometimes. But write those students down. If the student really is just not stopping to talk, write their names down for that teacher, and that teacher will take care of it. But yes, set expectations and let them know, like, hey, like if you want to talk and I'm talking, raise your hand. Just be firm. Okay. So I'm also going to give you some ideas to use for yourself for class management. And if you are looking for more class management techniques and strategies, I have a video that I will link down below. It's not just a video, it's a playlist. So you can pick between whatever grades, like elementary, middle, and then high school. And then there's another very good video on 8 effective strategies, behavior strategies that's very like top notch. So one thing that I have done in the past when I could not get the students to calm down, it was like a ton of like, just, I felt like I was like out in public somewhere and I was just like, oh my gosh, stop talking. But I one day just started telling a story and I kept going, and I was walking around the room and there was like 30 kids in the classroom, and all of a sudden they just stopped talking and they were like, what is she talking about? And they like were listening. And then I went, oh shoot, okay, we have to get back on topic, to be continued. And then it was like never continued. It just was a way that I can get them to finally like stop talking. Just for 1 second, just stop talking. That really helped. That was more middle school and high school. Elementary school, I feel like they have other things like you can do. If you can hear me clap 3 times. Or I meant to say talk. If you can hear me talking, clap 5 times, and then you keep going until like the room is silent. You can do something like you say stop and the class says collaborate and listen, or you could say class and they say yes. These are all things that you would of course teach them in the beginning of the class, just in case they are like not aware of that. Another one is you can do 1, 2, 3, eyes on me, and then stop for a little bit so that they can like process that, and then you can move on, whatever. I think too, the old school, just sitting there and saying, I'm gonna wait till everybody stops talking. That works as well. Not all the time, but it does. I think there's two really unique things that I've had substitute teachers tell me that they do, and I wanted to bring that here too. One is they brought a wand, and this wand like dinged, and so every time it got loud, the teacher would ding the wand, and the students would always come back and be like, oh, sorry, we were too loud. If you don't have a wand, you can bring a bell, just a little bell to jingle. And then that way that shows them that they're getting too loud. But again, in the beginning, make sure that you state that what you're doing. If you're too loud, I'm going to jingle this bell. And then I want you to refocus, stuff like that. Well, another one that you can do, and this seems to be a really cool thing to do, but a Post-it note. And when you see kids do like certain things, you can hand them a Post-it note. And like, I never did this, and this is just my way of thinking of it, but like if you hand each student a Post-it note and they all write their names on it, and you could go around and hole punch when they are being kind, or you see them doing something kind, whatever. And then at the end, they get incentives. So next, I'm going to be talking about incentives. So incentives are really important to have. And I want to note that you don't have to do this, but I just want you to know that try not to bring food. One, choking hazards, especially if you're like in kindergarten, when they're like at the craziness in life, that there might be allergies. My son has a milk allergy, so I know that like that would be something that I would be kind of scared about. There's gluten allergies. You just don't know. And as a substitute teacher, you're just not going to know that. And that's okay. There's other things like you can do erasers and pencils and pens and little mini notebooks. You could do the grippers from pencils, like the things that they put on pencils. Stickers. I don't know if I said stickers or not. Like everybody loves stickers. I loved stickers when I was in elementary school too. Like so many things. Schools even supply, not all schools, but like they will come up with an incentive that you can do as well. So like in a school I was at, they had Case Cash. Another school I was at, they had Tiger tickets. And if I saw someone doing something nice or they followed directions, they were not late to class, whatever the situation was, I would give them a ticket. So that was nice. I also, I did that at high school level. So for me, I would hand them Tiger tickets for everyone who put their phone in the pockets. And then whoever didn't put their phone away, they didn't get one type of thing. And then at the end of the week, they put their name in a raffle and they won like a prize from the principal. So something like that. Incentives just go a long way. And I think for high school and middle school, One thing that I always did is I would give them maybe 2 to 3 minutes left of class to talking about talking. So give them that time. Or if they have their phones, one thing you could do is give them that last 5 minutes of class to be on their phones. I would suggest asking before doing that if you can. If cell phones are like not really like a policy in your school or whatever, and they just like have their phones, work it out with the student. Say, okay, like you need to show me your work first. Once I write your name down, you can bring out your phone. But like it has to be silent till everyone's done, and then you guys can talk. You guys can use your cell phones then. I sure do hope that this video helps you come up with classroom management ideas for when the students just do not know how to shut their mouths. I will see you in the next video.